I asked women what they desperately wish men knew about foreplay, and one response kept showing up: make me finish hard. Not just finish, but finish hard with intensity, with her entire body involved. Many women quietly share the same experience, yet few feel comfortable expressing it clearly. When intimacy feels unsatisfying, it's rarely because of effort or attraction. More often, it's because the body and mind were never fully prepared to respond. The most meaningful intimate experiences do not begin with physical intensity. They begin with understanding, pacing, and emotional awareness. When these elements are present, intimacy becomes less about performance and more about connection, responsiveness, and trust. I'm Dr. Michelle Zion, and my work focuses on helping individuals and couples understand how the human body and nervous system respond to closeness. What many men are never taught is that female arousal is not linear. It does not switch on instantly, and it cannot be forced through technique alone. It is a gradual process that involves the brain, the nervous system, emotional safety, and physical responsiveness working together. When those systems are aligned, intimacy becomes deeper, more natural, and far more fulfilling for both partners. One of the most overlooked aspects of intimacy is pacing. In a world that encourages speed and efficiency, many men unintentionally bring that mindset into their relationships. However, the female nervous system responds best to gradual stimulation. Slow, intentional touch allows the brain time to interpret physical contact as meaningful rather than mechanical. Light contact along the arms, shoulders, back, or legs sends signals of presence and attentiveness. Neurologically, this type of touch encourages the release of oxytocin, a hormone associated with bonding and trust. When oxytocin is present, the body relaxes, resistance lowers, and receptivity increases. Another important factor is variety of attention. Many men focus on a limited number of areas and unintentionally overlook regions of the body that are deeply connected to emotional responsiveness. The neck, collarbone, shoulders, and areas behind the ears contain a high concentration of nerve endings. Gentle contact in these areas creates a sense of curiosity and attentiveness. What matters most is not pressure or intensity, but awareness. When a woman senses that attention is thoughtful rather than rushed, her nervous system responds with openness rather than tension. Communication plays a central role in intimacy, yet it is often misunderstood. Words do not need to be explicit to be powerful. Calm reassurance, warmth, and sincerity activate emotional safety, which is essential for physical responsiveness. A steady tone of voice, affirming statements, and presence help anchor the mind in the moment. When emotional safety is established, the body follows naturally. This is not about saying the perfect thing. It is about conveying attentiveness and respect. Touch that engages multiple areas of the body further supports relaxation and connection. When attention is distributed rather than focused on a single goal, the experience feels more exploratory and less pressured. Hands moving across the back, arms, waist, or through the hair signal that every part of the body matters. This reduces self-consciousness and allows the mind to quiet. From a physiological standpoint, relaxation is not passive. It is an active state in which the nervous system shifts out of alert mode and into responsiveness. The neck is particularly significant because it represents both physical sensitivity and emotional vulnerability. Gentle contact in this area combines warmth, trust, and sensory awareness. When done attentively, it deepens connection without overwhelming the nervous system. One of the most reliable indicators of comfort is breathing. When breathing slows or deepens, it signals that the body is responding positively. These cues are far more important than any predetermined technique. Another area that requires attentiveness rather than assumption is the chest. Sensitivity varies widely from person to person, which is why responsiveness matters more than routine. The most important principle here is observation. When attention is respectful and adaptable, it builds trust. Revisiting areas gradually, rather than rushing through them, helps reinforce safety and comfort. Consistency and patience often matter more than novelty. Oral attention, when discussed in an educational context, highlights an important principle: rhythm and patience. Research and clinical observation consistently show that steady, consistent stimulation allows the nervous system to build toward release naturally. Abrupt changes can interrupt neurological signaling and pull the mind out of the experience. This is why presence and listening are essential. The body communicates constantly through subtle changes in movement, breathing, and tension. When those signals are noticed and respected, responsiveness increases. Pausing also plays a meaningful role in intimacy. Brief pauses can heighten awareness and anticipation when used thoughtfully. From a neurological perspective, anticipation increases sensitivity. However, balance is key. Pauses should feel natural and responsive, not withholding. When pacing aligns with comfort, the experience becomes more immersive rather than frustrating. This principle applies not only physically, but emotionally as well. Confidence is another factor that is often misunderstood. True confidence does not come from dominance or control. It comes from calm presence and clarity. When a partner feels that the other person is grounded, attentive, and emotionally steady, it creates a sense of safety. Emotional leadership allows the other person to relax mentally and remain present. This mental relaxation is often what women describe as the most satisfying aspect of intimacy. Despite all of these principles, technique alone is never enough. One of the most significant gaps in many relationships is communication outside the moment of intimacy. Many men rely on assumptions rather than conversations. They follow patterns they believe are expected rather than learning what their partner actually prefers. Every individual is different, and preferences can change over time. Intentional conversations about comfort, boundaries, and desires build trust and understanding. These conversations do not need to happen in the bedroom. In fact, they are often more effective when they occur in a neutral, relaxed setting. Physiology also plays a role in responsiveness for both men and women. Healthy circulation supports sensitivity and physical response. Blood flow is essential for arousal, and it naturally changes with age due to shifts in nitric oxide production and overall cardiovascular health. Supporting circulation through healthy lifestyle choices, such as balanced nutrition, regular movement, adequate sleep, and stress management, contributes to intimate wellness. This is not about quick fixes, but about supporting the body as a whole. It is important to understand that intimacy is not a performance to be perfected. It is a shared experience that evolves through awareness, communication, and care. When anticipation, emotional safety, and physical responsiveness work together, intimacy becomes more satisfying without needing to be forced. The goal is not intensity for its own sake, but connection that feels mutual and grounded. Many men underestimate how deeply presence affects intimacy. Being mentally engaged, emotionally attentive, and physically responsive communicates value. When a woman feels seen and understood, her body is more likely to respond naturally. This is not about memorizing steps or following scripts. It is about understanding principles and applying them thoughtfully. As relationships mature, intimacy often deepens when pressure decreases. When expectations are replaced with curiosity and performance is replaced with presence, experiences become more authentic. This shift benefits both partners. Confidence grows naturally when experiences feel mutually satisfying rather than goal-driven. Ultimately, fulfilling intimacy is built on three foundations: awareness, communication, and respect for physiology. Awareness allows you to notice cues rather than impose assumptions. Communication allows you to understand preferences rather than guess. Respect for physiology reminds you that the body responds best when it feels safe, supported, and unhurried. These principles are not meant to be rigid rules. They are a framework. Each relationship is unique, and what matters most is adaptability. When you approach intimacy with patience and curiosity, you create space for deeper connection. That space is where trust grows, responsiveness increases, and satisfaction becomes mutual. Your intimate life is worth investing in, not through pressure or comparison, but through understanding. When you learn how the body and mind work together, intimacy becomes less stressful and more fulfilling. Presence, patience, and communication are not just relationship skills. They are the foundation of meaningful connection. True intimacy is not about doing more. It is about being more present. When you focus on connection first, everything else follows naturally.